This video, we will learn about the sum function. The sum function begins with an equal sign, then sum, then an opening parentheses. So for example, supposing we wanted to sum the value in the cell A2 plus the value in C2 and then in E2, we would write it like this. So I'm going to just pick a spot. You have to pick an area where there's nothing else in it to start the formula. So I'll start it right there. Equals sum, opening parentheses, and I'm just going to click on this. But if that doesn't work, you can always just manually type in the cell address and put a comma there. That's the first argument. Do the second argument and the third argument. And I'll come up here and close the parentheses and hit enter. And it comes to 60. And as you can see, if I were to select these three, you can see at the bottom it shows that the value is 60. So the formula is correct. But most people don't use the sum formula this way. They use it this way, such as, let's select these three. We want the value of those. So I want to get rid of this right here and use the format painter and get rid of that. So let's build a function that will sum these three values. We'll put it right here, put in our equal sign, and then sum, opening parentheses, and this time I'm just going to hold down the left key and drag across and then close the parentheses and enter. It should be 12. Now suppose I want to sum this area also. We can edit this formula. So we start at B4, which is this area right here, and it goes to D4. Let's just have it go to D5. So that way it'll cover this and this area. So I'm just going to change this number right here to a 5. So that now it includes row 5. And you can see that it's 18. So let's select this entire area, and you can see the sum value is 18. Okay, let's change this again. Let's just say this time we want to add the value of this along with everything else. So let's just add a little green to that. We're going to adjust this and put a comma here because we want another argument. So there's the comma, and now we have A2. So we'll click on that and enter. And 18 went to 28. So let's look at that formula again. It has two arguments. The first argument is the range from B4 to D5, and the second argument is the value in cell A2. Okay, let's get rid of that. And I'm going to use the format painter and get rid of all these colors. Let's say I want to sum the values from B4 to B6. How would you write that formula? I'll give you a moment to write it. Okay, so we'll go equals sum, opening parentheses. I'm going to drag because that's the easy way to do it, but you can write in B4 colon B6 and close the parentheses. If you wrote equals sum B4 colon B6, you would be correct. I'll click enter and And it is 5, 6, 7, 8. That is correct. Let's just add this to the area to be summed. So we're going to add these three. We can do this one of two ways. We can make two arguments out of it. And I'll put a comma in here and make the second argument, drag right here. So the first argument is B4 to B6. The second argument is C4 to C6. That's one way to do it. And it's 25. So if we were to select this entire area, you can see that it is 25. Let's do this another way. Let's just use only one argument. And we're going to make this to C6. So instead of B6, we want it to be C6. B4 to C6. And enter, and it's 25. We select this area, the sum is 25. Okay, so let's just say I want us to sum these two areas. Go ahead and write a sum formula that will sum these two areas, and let's change the color for that. And use the format painter for these. Okay. So if I were to write a formula for this, and I can put this formula anywhere, I will write it right here, equals sum, opening parentheses, I'm just going to drag over the area, C4 to D6, close the parentheses, and it's 25. It's also 25. I'm going to change this and say I want it from B4 to D6. Put a B in there. And it comes to 33. You can edit it right here, or you can actually edit it by double clicking on it and edit it right there. Now for the shortcuts. We'll delete this one, and we will delete this one. Let's just say we want the quick way to sum this, to create a sum function right here. We can select this area, or we can select down below it, and right over here you will see the symbol for summing, and we'll click on it, and the sum formula popped right in. So let's look at it. It is B4 to B6. A quick way of adding a sum function right here and here is to use autofill. So look for the, once you've selected it and there's a green box around it, look for this symbol right here, this box, and when you hover over it and you get the black cross, that means you can autofill. As you can see right there, and I just added a sum formula right there. This is C4 to C6, this is D4 to D6. Pretty easy to do. We'll delete that and do it again. So what you want to look for, after you selected it, look for the lower right hand corner and look for the green box. Hover over it until the white cross becomes a black cross. When it's a black cross, you can autofill. Hold down your left key and drag over. And you've just autofilled in those values. Now let's just say you want an average instead of a sum. Let's delete these. We're going to click on this and come over here and click the down arrow. Let's just say we want, I'm going to have to move this over a little bit. Click the down arrow and let's choose average. So we've got the average right here, and we can see that the average is the same at the bottom. And of course I can autofill with this. I've got the black cross and I went over. So we got the average formula here and the average formula here. And we can change this just like we did with the sum formula. Let's delete these three. Let's just say I want the largest value here. So we'll click on this, come over here, click the down arrow. I want the largest number only. We'll look for max. It's 5. Autofill across, and the highest number appears at the bottom. In this last section, we want to talk about the insert function dialog box. So let's select this cell right here, E5, and come up to FX, and you can see the word insert function is below it. I'm going to click on it, and that will open up this dialog box. We have sum at the top of the list, and I could click OK and go right to it, but if sum were not at the top of the list, I would type it in right here. And then click Go. But since it is already at the top of the list, it will stay there. You also have the choice of looking at specific categories of functions. Right here, where it says help on this function, is a great resource to learn about the functions. But now that we have sum selected, I'm going to click OK. Now the program assumed that this is the area, B4 to D4, that I wanted summed. But I can change that. That's just a guess on Excel's part. So I'm going to delete, and I'm going to put in B5 to D5. And then if I want a second argument, I can put it there. I'm just going to select this area right here, and that's my second argument, B8 to D8. I'm going to click OK. And you can see right here, B5 to D5, B8 to D8. So this is an easy way to set up a function, and all you have to do is put in the ranges, and you don't have to put in anything else. It does it for you. And this covers the sum function. Thank you.